Came this close to bringing my leotard and tights and just fainted. I texted last minute, if I would have put music on to do the words, I would have acted it out and it would have been all glorious. So, some of you may know, I have danced all my life. I just love performing. I love the feeling of evoking emotion from other people. I haven't talked. I love making people smile. I don't know if you know, it's a very easy trait, characteristic as an actor to portray sadness and anger. It's the easiest one of all. And it's so easy. Some of my dancers, the contemporary now, it's so big that it has to be gut-wrenching. Oh, I lost my boyfriend and this and that. And I tell them, you're veering that way because it's the easiest emotion to show. The face has to be like that. And what I love about dance, I like to make people smile. So I kind of choose the other end of the spectrum where you're challenged to make people enjoy what they're watching instead of the easy sorrow. But which leads me to, throughout college, I would have to take I have my bachelor's in theater and dance, and it was part of my major to be judged on my acting skills and my speaking, and I had to do it. I didn't want to, but I had to. So bear with me. I'm a dancer. I'm not an actor. When you think of dancing, usually it's an image of somebody or a group of people in motion. And as an audience member, we sit, and our job is to observe. We want to feel, and we want to be entertained, and as a performer, it's a responsibility to deliver. I can do that, I'm just better doing so when I'm not talking. Whether it's a ballet or musical or simply a 2.5-minute tap or jazz routine, I can tell you any story, but I'm, once again, used to doing it with my body and my movement to do so. Holy space. My holy place, I did a lot of soul searching over the last couple of weeks, and trust me, I mean the last couple of weeks, because ever since I got the email asking if I was interested, I said, yes, absolutely. It was a challenge. With 3 kids, a husband, and a new business, it wasn't so easy. It definitely was a challenge. The timing was a challenge, and it made me realize a whole lot. So thank you. I am very glad that I'm doing this. It's shown a lot. So the 3 things that I've come to conclusion with my holy space. My first thought is church. Church is my holy place. It's a no-brainer for me when I think about it. Our church for me is a place of worship of peace, of safety, and of learning. And it's definitely a family, whether it be familiar faces that I know, some faces that I'm not quite sure of. My family, it's a big love and friendly environment for me. I feel closest to God when I'm at church, and I absolutely love being here. I mentioned obviously being a performer, and on top of that being a mom and a business owner now. I don't always have a chance to make it to church on Sundays, and I've always beat myself up about that because when we were little, that was the thing we do on Sundays, and we enjoyed coming to church. High school, things got a little trickier. You had to have your job, and classes were on Sundays. Then I went to college, and all my performances and rehearsals were on Sundays, and then I danced professionally, and I still had to work on Sundays. So no matter where I was at in my life, I never always got to go to my holy place to feel those emotions that it brings out in me. And that lays very heavy on my conscience. I'm always saying, we should have went to church, But life happens, and I have to forgive myself for that sometimes. What's helped fill that void for me is being outside. I'm a very outdoorsy person. I'm not crazy about bugs, but anything else I can deal with. In Jobs 12, verses 7 to 10, he says, but ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand, in the life of every creature, in the breath of all mankind. One thing that I love most about being outside is the incredible sense of the gratitude that I receive. We as humans are so little compared to the world. It's so cliche and silly, so obvious, but there's so many things happening in the world right now, so many little worries and so many complaints about the smallest things that, we wake up, we walk outside, and we go to point A to B to C to D, and we hardly notice all of the little mini miracles that are all around us. So much beauty that God creates for us. The wind, it's so beautiful outside today. There's a breeze. How many people stop and just feel that breeze and thank you, God. Thank you for providing us this. The beautiful colors of the grass and the sky and flowers, the sounds of the birds chirping, all these little things resonates with me, and it just makes me happy, and it makes me gracious for everything that God has for us. While I dance as a professional, I live in Florida, and there are two little islands over by Tampa, Calabasas Island and Honeymoon Island. I don't know if anyone's familiar with them. But on my days off, I would pack up a little bag, and I would go and I would walk the beaches. And it was some of the most mesmerizing, influential, inspiring, and peaceful moments I've ever experienced in my life. I would just think and think and think and think, and nobody would bother me. And I'd collect seashells, I'd watch the stingrays swimming by my feet. The spectacle of the birds, the energy and the warmth that you feel on your skin from the sun. And that would bring me back to God, because it wasn't, what do I have to do tomorrow? It was, wow, just thank you for providing this for us. You look out at the ocean, and this is also cliche, but you remember how small we are in the world, and all of those little menial complaints and angers and things that I would have would just dissolve when I would take my walks on the beach. When I would drive to work, I should also mention I was alone when I was in Florida. My family was still here. Bruce, we were dating at the time. We weren't even engaged yet. It took me moving down there, because that Christmas he did engage. So it took a while, but I moved to Florida, and there was that winter. But so it was hard to be down there by myself. I didn't have any family. I would have people that would see the Steelers stickers on the back of my car and come and introduce themselves and hand me their phone numbers and say, honey, if you ever need anything, give me a call. But other than that, I was on my own. So, like I said, those things really grounded me, and I didn't feel alone. I had nature to kind of surround me and comfort me. When I travel, I've been blessed enough to be able to travel a couple places in Europe. And to be able to see the different parts of the world, to experience not only the differences and similarities of the landscape, but also in the people, the culture, to connect and learn and to adapt and to share. One more little story, Scotland, in the Isle of Skye. My most favorite place in the world was a cemetery. And the peat moss that was growing, it just felt like you were on a bed just walking along. And it should have been a very depressing place to be, because it was a cemetery. But it was, you had the cliffs, it was on the top of the cliff, and you saw the ocean, and there were sheep in the background, and you heard them doing their little thing. And it amazed me. I was just completely in awe of that surrounding. And I look over and I'd see, a headstone with a cross, or, Celtic cross, and it was a cemetery from the 1500s. It was really, really cool, but it just, the travel, the nature, everything, it just kind of resonates with me. Gardening is a new favorite hobby of mine. I end up calling my mom and dad about 3 times a day during the summer to make sure I'm doing everything right. But I love to watch the miracle of life as well as when I'm gardening. The tiny seed, and it comes to fruition when you pick that zucchini or the tomato, or if something doesn't work out. It just amazes me that once again, God's right there telling us, here, I'm taking care of you, I'm right here. it's there for the taking if only you put a little love and work into it. So that was my first holy space. I told you I'm not a speaker. Is nature. Nature, traveling, all of the emotions that it evokes from me. I had sent Pastor Jim, I talked to him and I said, you weren't expecting me to completely talk about dance, were you? Because the whole nature thing kind of, threw him through the loop, and he said, well, you just do, you'll know what to do. And then after you said that, I'm an overthinker, and the more I thought about it was, dance is a huge holy place in my life. It always has been. To me, I always viewed it as my comfort zone. It was the talent that I was the best at. When I felt any type of negativity, I go out my rear end in the dance room, and I'm at a ballet bar, and once I start that first plie, I'm in a whole different world, and no one can touch me. You can't tell me anything until your ballet teacher comes and tells you to turn out a little bit more, but that was always my comfort zone, and as I thought, you're next, don't worry. The gift of dance. Everything to me is a gift from God, and dance is certainly a gift from Him to me. So that has played a huge role in my life. When I teach now, dance is such a competitive world right now, and it's very hard to go against the grain with the dance world at the moment. And I'm consistently telling my dancers to not necessarily worry about competing with other people. Find your individual strengths, your weaknesses, and then celebrate those strengths and build upon your weaknesses. Don't dwell on your perfection and the judgment, but love what you're doing and appreciate it. Appreciate the movement and continue to grow. And I often find myself coming back to God as I'm teaching. And in this world, again, you kind of have to be careful of what you say about religion and politics and other things. And the really cool thing about having my own studio right now is I'm allowed to say whatever I want to say. And I have been received with open arms with the new students that I have built, that they also will come up to me and say, Miss Karrie, can we say a prayer today? And I'll just follow the floor and think, wow, So I guess I wasn't thinking of those things when I think of my happy place, because that is my comfort place. It's like going home and laying in bed. You want to go where you're most comfortable. Dance is my comfort zone. But it's a gift from God. So with that being said, my third are my children. I grew up dreaming that I was going to be on Broadway. I was going to live the city life. I wore black all the time and chic dresses and the high heels and everything. And then here I am talking about bugs and work and gardening and sheep and all this other stuff. But He had a plan for me, and it's completely than what I had imagined, but it's also one of the most powerful and amazing loves that I have ever experienced in my life. I love being a mom. I'm always tired, but I love being a mom. It's worth it. The moments of cuddling and story time and laughter and seeing them learn new things and experiencing things for the first time. It is truly a gift from God, and they are a gift from God. So, nature, dance, my children, they all come together and create my holy place. And the main idea that I got from all of this, and I hope that I somewhat got through to you as well, if you really think about it, all of those three things are living in the right here and the right now. Life, each movement, each second is a gift. Each seed that you plant is a gift. Each member of your family is a gift. Every time you travel, every time you see a blade of grass, those are all gifts from God. Good or bad, each breath that you take is life, and it is a very powerful thing, and it's a beautiful thing. And I thank God for it every day. So thank you for sharing your time.